The next speaker is William O'Connor, followed by Greg Bledsoe.
Good morning and thank you. I'm Bill O'Connor. I'm fortunate to serve as President of the Board of the Oklahoma Center for Community and Justice, known as OCCJ. I want to tell you just a little bit about what we do. I think most of you know we've in fact offered and supplied some of our services to this council in trying to help resolve disputes with various organizations within the city. We are the only human relations organization that's solely dedicated to fighting bias, bigotry, and racism, and promoting respect and understanding among all religions. We were founded as a chapter of the National Conference for Christians and Jews in 1934, and many of you know that the United States Supreme Court justices were committed to bringing diverse people together to address interfaith divisions. From Presidents Eisenhower to FDR to JFK, they've commended NCCJ as the single most organization that embraced our differences and brought this nation together. NCCJ led a nationwide series of institutes when Catholics were persecuted, when Jews were persecuted. Of course, they've extended that to all races, cultures, and not just religions. But what this all comes down to is a framework of acceptance. We're challenged every day in this community to create a new language and to reject the old. We're challenged to invest in people and leave behind these stale lines of separation. We need to establish trust and unbroken integrity among our faith communities. We need to live out rather than just talk about it, unification and growth, and not continued division. It's apparent from everything we do at OCCJ, through Camp Anytown, through our instruction in every Tulsa public school classroom, that the battleground is fear and education and economics. And we must recognize and embrace the fact that we are different and that there's nothing to fear by that. Those who are not exposed to those of a different religion may believe that there is too much of a difference to overcome. They fear what they're not aware of. But once we know more about one another, the end result is that we respect each other more and that we embrace one another more. As we open our eyes and our hearts and aggressively try to learn more about the people who surround us, we become united, and united in respect for one another as we better understand one another. It comes down to not only understanding one another, but raising the level, not from just tolerance of another religion, but to understanding and respect. And so I come here today, in part as a lawyer, but principally as President of the Board of OCCJ. And I start here with the legal issues. I have read a stack of editorials, of letters to the editor, of other articles, and no one has urged that this permit should be denied based on any standards governing this council's consideration. Nobody's raised issues of traffic flow or public safety. Nobody said that granting this application would violate our state constitution or our country's constitution. But to the contrary, if this was not granted, there would certainly be raised a host of legal implications and a departure from established jurisprudence. Are we trying to send a message of conservative Christianity? I consider myself a member of that group, and I propose to you today that the suggestion that rejecting this holiday parade would be consistent with conservative principles should be rejected. This is not a new issue. When you listen to the words of a U.S. Senator 30 years ago, this senator said our religious issues On religious issues, there can be little or no compromise. There's no position on which people are so immovable as their religious beliefs. There's no more powerful ally one can claim in a debate than Jesus Christ or God or Allah or whatever one calls his or her supreme being. I'm frankly sick and tired of political preachers across this country telling me as a citizen that if I want to be a moral person,
If you could wrap up quickly, sir.
Thank you. If I want to be a moral person, I must believe in A or B or C or D. I warn them today, I will fight them every step of the way if they try to dictate their moral convictions in the name of conservatism. That was delivered by Mr. Conservative Barry Goldwater. So the principles that people espouse as being conservative don't flow here. Is it a message of Christianity? I don't think so. Jesus talked about invitations and not exclusions. When he was faced with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, he said the multitudes did not need to go away. He said, bring them here to me.
Mr. O'Connor, in fairness, I'm going to have to cut you off.
Sure. I want to simply say that OCCJ stands ready to assist in any way we can. Our leaders from Muzon Biggs to Calvin McCutcheon, to Weldon Tisdale, have all embraced over the last 50 years and continue to, on a daily basis, bring together our different faith communities. And I certainly don't want this to be seen as a step backwards. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Would you call the next speaker? The speakers, and then I'd like to make a statement.
Could the gentleman from the OCCJ come up for a minute? I have a question for you. I have a question. You know, you mentioned respect each other in your statement. If there's respect from everybody concerned and from both sides of this issue, and the Christmas parade has been called the Christmas parade for so many years, why would there be a demand made by whomever to change the name from Christmas to holiday? If what you say, everybody's to respect each other.
From my understanding of this, this is not a new issue, but what I understand in the present application before the council, we have Joel Cantor, who is from the Jewish tradition. We have Vince Lavoie, who is a Catholic Christian. And then we have others who have stepped forward to fund this. So, and we have the chairman of this committee. And whatever that entity is, that entity is not what was proposed as the name of the parade. That entity could be whatever its name was when it was formed. I understand that. So that really has no bearing here, but are we really going to tell Mr. Cantor, who is Jewish, that thanks for stepping up here and filling the void so that Christians can come and celebrate the birth of Christ, and Jews can come here and celebrate Hanukkah, but we're going to put the name on it that only suits one faith tradition. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's what I don't think that's what the Christian faith espouses. I think Christ talks about welcoming. Who do I love? When he's asked to divide and pick and choose, he never says that. He says, embrace your brothers and your sisters. Everyone is that. I don't see that as disrespectful. I think it's a time where I can go with my family, as I grew up going, and celebrate the birth of Christ. And next to me may be a Jewish family that's celebrating Hanukkah. And my children will get to know them and will grow an understanding of each other's faith traditions. And I think that's what I think is the higher calling of this. I don't think it discriminates. I respectfully disagree with our last speaker that this parade is not a place to celebrate the birth of Christ. It is. It's that and can I speak? I'm not here to answer.
You're going on and on.
So I don't think that.
Excuse me,
I'm not here to
folks.
answer your questions respectfully. So.
Excuse me, folks. This man is responding to Councilor Christensen's question, and it's really up to Councilor Christensen as to whether or not he feels that the answer is responsive.
Thank you.
Continue, sir.